drifting, but the captain's at a party. Pretoria answered the call, like it gone to sleep. Adam Gardner stand tall. In the harbor of Durban, the seal ships ride. The ANC plays a game of seek and hide. They call for the exercise in life the east wind, and point to paging and say they're the ones who sin. So I was under this, I guess, at the gate. Now they say who invited them, it must have been fake. Confusion in the Union building, shadows on the wall. Now the truth gets buried in the marble hall. Who is running the land? Tell me, who's in command? Is it the suit in the office or the gun in hand? Oh, that from the Congo to the Pretoria street, the drums of the rock start to skip a beat. No books for the boys, no armor for the chest, but millions for the dollar to go take a rest. And she speaks of an inquiry, a code to be won, but the days turn to weeks and the paper is torn. No answers coming down as the heavy silence, while the heroes in the bush face no rebel violence. Sent to the jungle with no wings in the sky, only 3 helicopters, how can they fly? No medevac coming when they let us for rain. Chased by the rebels, oh the pride and the pain. No uniform, no boot, no boots, oh wait, look at the budget for the big salute. P7, 2 million for retirement spree. Modern Navy is sinking beneath the sea. Not a submarine moving, not a sailor in sight, but the body lights are burning to the Pretoria night. The chief of defense, he's a law to himself. The commander of the Navy puts the stay on the self, defying the colonial, ignoring the sir, while the ghost of the fly start to wake and to stir. And what's this whisper? What's this dark news? A chairman charged with murder, and he's the one they choose. Promoted to the top, while the dockets go forward. Is this the new story that's being told? Who is running the land? Tell me, who's in command? Is it Siren? Is it Lange? Cause Ronnie understand. Oh, from the Crown Hope to the Pretoria street, the drums of the rope start to skip a beat. No boost for the boys, no armor for the chest, but millions for the tenor on the moat in the rest. The generals are dancing, the politicians are glancing. The money is vanishing, and the soldiers are wandering. Who's the boss? Siren. Who's the boss? Anki. The military's gone rogue in the sun. The parade has only just begun.
Marvin Devine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming, it's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Who that in charge? Who in charge in South Africa? We don't know, man. Nobody know who in charge in South Africa. Is it the military? Is it the civilians? They be defying the bosses. Yeah, no sir, no sir. It ain't happening now in South Africa. The military be in control. They be out of control. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sunday edition on this Sunday, January 25th. 2026, the last Sunday of January. Welcome back. Who's in charge, folks? The military. Have they gone rogue? Have the bots and the military gone rogue in South Africa? It is shocking, to say the very least. Military gone rogue in South Africa. We've got a military that doesn't equip its troops and sends them into combat to die. No medevac, no boots, no uniforms. They run away from rebels. No fire discipline, no proper training. They come back to South Africa to dilapidated, falling apart buildings which haven't been maintained for the most part since the National Party left power 32 years ago. On top of that, we've got a military that, according to analysts and sources revealing to South African media, that the general and the admiral defied the presidency and the minister. Who is in charge, man? Who is in charge in South Africa? We all want to know. Come, man, tell me who in charge. It is just cray-cray in South Africa. That's right. And now on top of that, they're having a big retirement parade for the general who went to Tehran and pledged his loyalty to the Iranian terror regime and showed the solidarity between South Africa and the Iranian terrorists. Of course, the Navy ships that came to South Africa, of course, were the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, a designated terror group. That's right, from a designated state sponsor of terror. The same organization that in the Human Rights Council of the United Nations, South Africa abstained from declaring them wrong. Look at that. There's a pattern here. We're neutral. We're neutral. We're not against the United States. We're neutral. South Africa is neutral. We are not against the United States. Go Russia. Go Russia. Go Iran. Go Iran. Yes, yes. Nalita Pandora says, go Iran. Go Iran. Do it. Do it. Do it. Kill those people. Oh, that's it. We are watching. Oh, yes. Yes. Hamas did it to everyone in Israel. Now the Iranian authorities are doing it in Iran. Go. Go Iran. Ooh, ooh. Hercules. Hercules. Who's in charge? In this military, you defy the President of the United States or Secretary of Defense, you're gone. We had a general at Soesterberg Air Base in the Netherlands in 1992 who had a private party, said Bill Clinton is basically an ass. He didn't really say it that badly. He was forced to retire within 2 days. Within 2 days. 2 days. Of course, we have former Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, an idiot who walked around and defied the president and apologized for wearing his uniform. I'm so sorry. I'm a general in charge of the largest military in the Americas, and I actually left my office in uniform. And I'm so sorry that I walked on the streets of leftist Washington, D.C. wearing a uniform. Oh, what a crime. What a transgression. Oh, let me get my latte. Oh, the comfort of a latte. I feel much better now. I feel much better. I feel chastised. Shall I do 3 Hail Marys or shall I bend over towards Mecca? What should I do? What should I do? I'm confused. As a chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, I don't know what to do. Please tell me, leftists. Oh, the lady with the blue hair, please. Hang on, I need more latte. I don't know what fragility is. I'm confused. We should be teaching white people that they're evil at West Point. What do you mean that's wrong? No, it's okay. White people are evil. We need to tell all of our officers and make sure that 80% of them are non-white. That's how we balance the scales. Yes. I'm so sorry for being an evil white general who makes $18,000 a month. It's terrible. It's terrible. But back to the question at hand. Who is in charge in South Africa? 372 million rand for a retirement ceremony. They're trying to dress it up as a parade of Armed Forces Day. It's a retirement ceremony for the general who went to Iran. That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. You can't dress this thing up. Hey, Mad Max. Thank you for the super chat. You can't dress this up. That's what it is. Make no mistake. It's a retirement ceremony for General Rudzani, who's going into retirement. Oh, now, ladies and gentlemen, the latest. You're going to love this. Check this out. Defying politicians, allowing the Iranians to not only observe, but to participate in an exercise while they're slaughtering thousands of civilians at home. Talk about a bad look and stupid. They don't care. They don't care about the look. Thank you, Vilma Hearn, for your long-time membership. They don't care. So that's the first thing. Second thing is $372 million for a retirement ceremony. And then Brigadier General Soli Leshonyo, who is charged with murder in the Hawks investigation, the target assassination of Lieutenant Colonel Frank Matipa back in August of 2023. He's been promoted to commanding general of the SANDF Special Forces. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. The general charged with murder. He isn't accused. He isn't credibly accused. He isn't associated. He is charged with murder. And he's been promoted to the Commander of Special Forces. What the hell is going on here? Is this a real government? Are they in charge? Davi Boyson and Erica, what's her name there? Gibson wrote that first story in the City Press. Insane, folks. No, they're not following orders. They're not following orders, Karen von Veik. That's why they let the ships play, or the government's lying to us. Which is it? That's also plausible. It's very plausible that the government of South Africa is lying to the public. That's very possible. That's right, Yassine. Even a circus is more organized than this mess. And these are the people that want your vote. These are the people that are running around creating fictitious right-wing conspiracies. And while they've got left-wing lunatics calling for the murder of white people and asswipes walking down the street with pikes with white heads on them. Yeah, no, I think that something's very sick in South Africa. Let's get to news, ladies and gentlemen. That's my opening monologue. I hope that didn't put you off too much, but something is very fishy in Pretoria and in Simonstown. So, first off, as I said, the aforementioned African National Congress has to create boogeymen. The Babagaya. The Babagaya. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the remnants of the AWB and the Boermag. It's grave threats to the country of South Africa. So grave that they were both eliminated as a threat before they even posed a single threat to anybody. Ooh, but the evil specter of white supremacy, racism, is raising its ugly head. It's rearing up again. Where? Could you tell us where? Please. Please tell us where. Please tell us where, ANC. The ANC must act against right-wing threats, says the left-wing threat. President Cyril Ramaphosa says the ANC and government must take appropriate action to protect South Africans against the rise of right-wing imperialism. Internationally and on this country's own shores. We acknowledge that 2026 will be a challenging year wherein our country and the world will be confronted by both challenges and opportunities. Let me turn that into English for everybody who's listening to the gobbledygook coming out of the hippo's mouth. 2026 will be a challenging year, wherein our country and the world will be confronted by challenges and opportunities. That means that all the failures of the African National Congress in 2026 for no roads, no rails, no ports, no money, no jobs, misery, HIV, tuberculosis, malaria, cholera, all of these gifts given to you, no electricity by the ANC, will be the fault of, you ready for it? Are you ready for it? You ready for it? Donald John Trump. Yep. It's the forces of right-wing imperialism. Donald Trump. Yeah. Yes, the YouTube did officially pull out of the World Health Organization. I mentioned that in my news program. People make videos about it. I give news stories, and I can make dozens of videos, and people make a video, and they get all this attention, and I include my news, and I get some views, but they get thousands. Yes, AWB and the Boermag are about as useless as ANC. You're right, Mani Muveya, and they're also non-existent. The ANC's task is to exploit opportunities to advance the interest of our people. Our people. Who are our people again, Cyril? Are they 50 million people, or are they all 63 million people? Who are your people, Cyril? It sure doesn't seem to be Indians or coloreds, Khoi, San, or whites. They really doesn't seem to be your people. The forces of right-wing imperialism, both globally and domestically, are seemingly on the offensive, and we need to ensure that our movement and our government take appropriate action to protect our nation and its people. This is a prelude to censorship. This is an unconstitutional effort to force people on social media to get licensed to operate on social media. Well, I'm not South African, and I'm not in South Africa. I'm in America. My account is based in America, Cyril. So try reaching over here. Try reaching over here. They're going to censor YouTube content creators, which might be a boon for me. I mean, if the likes of Ronaldo and Morning Shot and others are censored and they can't do any content, then I guess everybody will come here. That's unfair and unfortunate. I hope that never happens, but think about it. Think about it. Yep. So they're identifying the forces of right-wing imperialism as a preemptive strike to the censorship that they're going to undertake this year to protect our people. And then, of course, they're going to put more taxes on you to protect our people. They're going to steal more money to protect our people. I haven't found any daycare centers in Pennsylvania that ICE needs to know about, but I'll start looking into it. Well, another move for leadership in the Democratic Alliance. Out with Helen, in with Siviwe. Garuba lobbied for a senior DA leadership role ahead of the April conference. Not content to do poorly in the Department of Basic Education, now she wants to do poorly in leadership in the DA. She's being positioned for either federal chairperson or one of 3 deputy roles. Nominations open on February 27th. Candidates have just 43 days to canvass support before the conference. The Minister of Basic Education is being lobbied by party members to make herself available for a senior leadership position. The former DA parliamentary chief whip is being lobbied by senior DA members to throw her name in the hat for a position of federal chairperson. It's believed the decision will first be made on whether Ivan Meyer, MEC for Agriculture, will make himself available for the 3rd term as the party's federal chairperson. Why not? He's helped John Steenhuisen lead this party into the abyss. Well, I'll get a picture of it there. Little Steps Living. Flysaf Air finally investigating. Kirby Gordon investigating a viral video of chanting idiots on a Johannesburg to East London flight, endangering public safety. People should be banned from air travel forever. Flysaf Air says it's investigating the incident on board one of its flights after video showing passengers chanting and standing in the aisle went viral. Why didn't the pilot report this? Why didn't the flight crew report this? Why wasn't this reported to civil aviation while the aircraft was in flight? East London Tower, this is Flysaf Air 137, inbound East London, 32,000 feet, approximately 20 minutes from landing. We have an in-air crisis. I'm not declaring an emergency, but we have an in-air crisis. And I need law enforcement to be at the gate when we arrive to apprehend approximately 20 individuals endangering safety on this flight. East London Tower, this is Flysaf Air 172, over. The footage shows several idiots dressed in red and white berets standing in the aisle. They're not standing, they're jumping up and down in a 189-seat Flysaf Air flight from Joburg to East London. They're chanting and loudly clapping. We are aware of the matter and investigating. Should it be found the passengers were in breach of our policies, further steps. But they're in breach of civil aviation law, Kirby. They're in violation of civil aviation law, not of your policies. We understand your concern and take passenger safety very seriously. The incident you're referring to is under investigation to establish exactly what happened on board. Flysaf Air has strict policy in place to ensure all passengers travel safe and respectful. If it's found that any of these were breached, appropriate action will be taken. I appreciate your patience. Yeah. ASA presser at 9 o'clock. Moonshot pact hijacking smaller parties. What moonshot pact? They have their own moonshot pact now? Well, military chiefs blatantly disregarded lawful orders from civilian leadership, according to city presses Davi Bunzire and Erica Gibson. The military and Navy received clear instructions in November, in January, and again last week before the exercise. In December, and again in January before the exercise that Iran must not participate. According to senior government sources, the first order was given in early November at an interdepartmental meeting. Instruction made it clear that Iran must not be involved or as a participant or even as an observer in the Chinese-led Will for Peace exercise at Simonstown. The chiefs of the Navy and military were instructed as early as November that the Iranians must not participate in any way whatsoever. It was repeated in December and again repeatedly the week before the exercise. But that rogue General Rudzani Mapwanya did what he wanted to do because he's retiring soon. He doesn't care. That idiot who has no control over that ministry needs to resign. Andrew Mocheka. And this admiral also needs to be censured and retired. Vice Admiral Monde Lobese. Yeah, so right-wing imperialism is the problem in South Africa, but the military defies the government's orders. I ask you, who's a greater threat to South Africa? A military gone rogue that does what it wants to do and could easily overthrow this government? Or right-wing imperialism? But it doesn't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't stop there. As I said in my opening monologue, 372 million rand being splashed on a retirement ceremony for the aforementioned general who pledged loyalty and solidarity with the Iranian terror state without approval. Then they tried to cover the story up afterwards and said he had approval, which he didn't have. I don't know if Andrew Mocheka is the dumbest person in South Africa. I think that award goes to Ronald Lamola. 372 million. 7,000 soldiers being brought from all over the country will travel to Venda for celebrations. It's in Limpopo. While the military stages expensive parade, only 3 helicopters and minimal rescue personnel are employed to help people in floods. So they're having a big parade to celebrate this idiot's retirement, yet they don't have helicopters to save people who are dying from flood damage. They're going to the historic capital of Venda, a Bantustan. They're celebrating the historic capital of Bantustan. Yes, we hate apartheid, but we love what it brought us. Botswana, Ciskei, Transkei, Venda. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep. The occasion coincides with the commemoration of the tragedy when the SS Mendi sank in 1917. But the SS Mendi was an imperial ship under South African colony, republic, whatever you want to call it, after 1910 during World War I. Why are you celebrating that? Because most people that died were black. That's why you care. That's why you care. But you don't care about the black soldiers who died in the Bush War, do you? Do you? Do you? You don't care. You don't care. Well, as if that isn't enough, it gets even better with the South African military, folks. They have now promoted to general officer an accused murderer. Yeah, you can't make this up. I need more latte. It's not latte, it's hot chocolate. Wow. That's right. It's blaming the Titanic for the iceberg being counter-revolutionary. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Mad Max, the iceberg was counter-revolutionary. Murder-accused officer is promoted to head of South African Special Forces. This is not Mad Magazine, ladies and gentlemen. This is not The Sun, page 3 with naked titty girls. No. This is news. News. Erica Gibson reports this story. A murder-accused officer has been promoted to general. Brigadier General Sully Leshonyo, charged with murdering Hawks investigator Lieutenant Colonel Franz Matipa in August 2023, has been promoted to commanding general of the South African Special Forces. His 6 co-accused had their bail revoked and have to be in prison within 48 hours. There is the victim investigating the kidnapping of 2 individuals by Special Forces. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Special Forces being used in South Africa to kidnap people and then to murder government officials, a Hawks investigator. Wow. Well, the Democratic Alliance says they've had a meeting with the NFP, and it was cordial and informative. So what's happening with the coalition at the provincial level, the government provincial union? There's babyface Dean McPherson, who laughs about the suffering of people in South Africa. The DA and KZN believes the party's bilateral meeting with the National Freedom Party was a positive step in the right direction to keep the coalition intact. The DA welcomed the opportunity to hear directly from the NFP regarding their concerns as well as their expectations to resume talks about in the future of the GPU. Their concerns. The NFP's concerns, they're pigs at the trough. They have one frickin' seat, and they're demanding access and positions. They can get their fingers on tenders and money. That's their concerns. Their concern is they don't get enough of the food at the trough. They're not a big enough piglet. The other pigs are too big at the trough. They need to get in. Not just the ANC and the IFP and the DA. Pigs at the trough. NFP needs to be in there. Let us have some. Here, piggy, 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 piggy. Here, piggy, 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 piggy. MTN, the South African operator, is in deep kimchi today as it shares tanks. Why? Because its CEO in Iran was sacked because he didn't shut down the internet fast enough. It took him 2 hours to shut it down. Apparently that's not fast enough for the mullahs who want to crush innocent civilians. And so MTN, deeply closely linked to a terror organization, the state of Iran, now sees its shares tank. Frankly, its shares shouldn't be worth anything. CEO was dismissed for failing to comply with the government's order to shut down services in Iran. Yep, all of 2 hours. Shares closed down 4% on Friday. It rose 80% last year, which is ridiculous. MTN is disputing his dismissal due to governance process not being followed. At the heart of the dispute is their 49% minority investment in Iran cell. When you lie with dogs, you lie down with dogs, ANC, you pick up fleas. That scratching you're feeling is because you've got fleas on you for being in bed with state sponsor of terror. Well, here in the United States, Sasol, the South African chemicals and oil to petrol company, is not living up to an agreement that it made. Mossville community affected by expansion of the facility calls the South African company to negotiate terms for relocation. Mossville, historically black community in Louisiana. Oh, that's why it's news in South Africa, because it's black folks. It's black folks. Wouldn't be news if it was happening to white folks. has accused South Africa's petrochemical giant Sasol of not being fair to people wanting to move from the area surrounding its Lake Charles facility. They're calling on Sasol to negotiate a fair compensation for them to relocate their homes following expansion of Lake Charles chemical complex. Now that seems reasonable, except as part of expanding its facility, an ethylene and petrochemicals producer for soaps, shampoos, and detergents, Sasol more than 10 years ago agreed to offer residents cash for their properties in order for them to move. Some of them chose to remain. Now they want more money. Go pound sand. Go pound sand. This one I stand with Sasol. Errors galore. The embarrassment that was supposed to be a Stormers team on the pitch at DHL Greenpoint Stadium yesterday was shocking to say the very least. But Dobby isn't concerned. I am. The Stormers have not been impressive this season. An undefeated season ends at the hands of the Guppies at DHL Greenpoint Stadium, a venue that the Sharks have never won at previously. A team that had only beat this side in the URC once in 9 appearances. Now they have a 20% success rate, doubling it. Dobson insists the Stormers weren't out to play romantic rugby. No, we just wanted to win. Stormers flopped badly in their 30-19 home loss to the Sharks. He doesn't believe they lost because they tried to play an overly expansive game to please their home faithful. Excuse me? I'm sorry. Dobby, you're usually a smart guy, but I'm not buying that story. Stormers have made no secret of the fact they're out to entertain, especially at home in front of their faithful supporters. Well, they didn't entertain. They were terrible. We were poor on both sides of the line out, as well as the amount of penalties we conceded. So that's that, and the discipline that cost us. Now, they barely beat the Lions 34-27 December 20th, and they snuck past the Bulls 13-8 on January 3rd. I told you this is the side that's struggling. I think what disappointed me most to start was the 2 starters. One was a line-out and one a scrum. They got 40 yards on both sides, both times. That was too easy, and both scenarios led to tries. No, they just didn't perform. And stupid penalties. Stupid penalties. 7 dead in a landslide. 82 missing Indonesian village. There's the debris from the landslide. 7 people died, 82 are missing after a landslide hit Indonesia's West Java province. Indonesia's disaster management agency said amid reports of heavy rain. Number of missing persons high. We'll try to optimize our search and rescue efforts today. Indonesia found the body of 10 passengers on a crash surveillance plane. An ATR 42-500 turboprop. They found the bodies of 10 passengers of a fishery surveillance plane that went missing on the South Sulawesi province. It's owned by the aviation group Indonesia Air Transport. Lost contact air traffic control at 1:30 in the afternoon around the Moros region. There were 7 crew members and 3 passengers on board the flight. Andi Sultan, an official at South Sulawesi Rescue Agency, said through tears during a video statement the authorities found the 9th and 10th bodies early on Friday, adding that the evacuation process was ongoing. Sad story. Not sure what caused that, but you can see the fog. Perhaps that was a reason. Canada's Mark Carney, suddenly the darling of the political left, as he claimed that he stands up for the world order. And he doesn't. He called for tearing it apart. I don't know how these people can listen to that speech and make that determination. Mark Carney takes on Donald Trump and emerges as a global political star, says the New York Slimes. At the World Economic Forum in Switzerland, the Prime Minister was praised for his blunt talk about the president's irrevocable rupture of the world order. Except that's not what happened. This clown called for ripping apart the world order. Mark Carney said that we middle-sized nations need to go our own path. In other words, leave the world order. Donald Trump didn't ask anybody to leave the world order. You're the ones doing it. He is the one defying the world order. And, of course, the ANC, who talks about a rules-based order, but they allow military aircraft to be shipped to Benghazi. They allow South African citizens to be mercenaries in Ukraine. And they allow terror sponsors to participate in their naval exercises. 12,000 flights canceled. Oof, more than 12,000 flights. Catastrophic winter storm moves in. Ladies and gentlemen, I am directly in the path of this horrific storm. So far, it isn't horrific. More embellishment from the media and from lots of people. Lots and lots of people embellishing, talking about this storm. I survived the blizzard of 1978 in Ohio. 6-meter snowdrifts. Couldn't get out of our house. Had to lower a window on the backside where the drifts hadn't covered the house entirely, push the snow away, and slide down the embankment, and then evacuate the people from the house, my mom, my siblings, to a nearby location in which we tied a rope to everyone around their waist and put cloth hanging down so you could see it in front of you as we went through a blizzard with the snow and visibility less than 2 meters, walking to a neighboring farm and staying in an outbuilding next to a pond, along with about 30 other people for days on end as the roads were blocked. That's a storm. That's a catastrophic storm. People died. There may be people dying in this storm, but this is not catastrophic. It is cold. Woo! It is 10 degrees Fahrenheit, but it's actually 0, the feel outside with the wind. That means that it's minus 17 degrees Celsius. My fingers, I went out and I tried my new snow blower, electric. The battery works, only for a bit though. I was able to clean the sidewalk very quickly and part of my drive and the sidewalk around my house before the battery died on me. I had to come back in, plug the battery back in. Electric, it's such wonderful stuff. Yes. So I was out at 10 o'clock exactly, and by 10:22, the burning sensation in these fingers was so bad that I was almost in agony. My feet were fine. My ears were fine. My body was fine. But my fingers, I could not feel them anymore. I could still feel them, but they were getting to the point where they were going to go away from the feeling. So I had to come back inside. But I did accomplish it. I cleaned at least 6 inches of snow off the top of my car and off the drive and sidewalk. And it is still snowing. It didn't start snowing until after 5 o'clock this morning. And by 9 o'clock, we already had 5 inches of snow on the ground. This is the biggest spot for the storm, apparently. So we'll see how it goes. But I've already cleaned the snow. I'll have to go out and clean again. Yeah, Glühwein. Glühwein, yeah. And instead, I'm having hot chocolate. Yeah, so it is a hell of a storm. But these people with their hyperbole, oh, we never had storms this bad. No hurricanes ever done. Hurricane Agnes, 1972. Really? You don't remember that? I remember that. Came up the Chesapeake Bay. Sounds like my battery is finally charging. It finally stopped charging. It was making a lot of noise in the background. My hands look blue. Do they look blue? They're fine now. A little sore. These two fingers are sore from the cold. Yeah. Of course it's made in China, Heinrich. Nothing's made in America anymore. Not even babies. We even import babies now. So air travel disrupted in parts of the United States as a catastrophic weekend storm plowed through the southern Rocky Mountains into New England. As of 4 p.m. Eastern Time, more than 12,500 flights, that's yesterday. Well, yes, it was scheduled for Saturday and Sunday, were canceled. More than 3,870 flights were canceled on Saturday, with the most impacted airports being Dallas, Fort Worth, which is where I'm flying into on Thursday. Let's get that sorted out. Airlines scrapped more than 8,700 flights on January 25th. That's today. Most affected being New York's LaGuardia, Charlotte, Douglas, and Hartsfield, Jackson, Atlanta. American Airlines, which has its flagship hub in Dallas, had the most flights canceled this weekend, followed by Southwest, Delta, Republic, and United Airlines. By 4 p.m., more than 43,000 customers in Louisiana lost power. Around 2,900 restoration workers from one of Louisiana's top electric providers mobilized ahead of the storm. So Louisiana had 2,900 power workers out. Pierre Heitzig, thank you for your subscription. Louisiana, a southern state, had 2,900 people out to repair the lines before they went down. ESCOM can't find 2,900 people to fix anything at any time. Meanwhile, let's take a look at all these flight cancellations. Look at that. Oof, a bunch of them there. Canceled, 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 delayed, canceled, 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 delayed, canceled, canceled, canceled. Wow. 6,500 electric customers in Arkansas were without power. Crazy. President Trump is breaking the old global order, says the Washington Post, right in line with the propaganda of the New York Slimes. The Washington Compost. Allies worry that economic integration is now a danger and not an opportunity. Yeah, so we should be allowed to be taken care of by be taken advantage of by the Europeans who charge us 10% tariffs for our automobiles while we only charge them 2%. Yeah, that should go into perpetuity. Continue to make America a debtor nation by giving these people unfair, favorable trade terms. So when we ask for an even table, suddenly we're breaking the China? No. We're not breaking the China. This is propaganda from the New York Slimes. Well, a man killed by federal agents in Minneapolis has got the whole country in a tizzy. Videos analyzed by the New York Times appear to contradict federal accounts of the shooting. I don't really care. The man, an ICU nurse, was an American citizen with no criminal record. Really? So why did he bring a firearm to a protest? An illegal protest. Why did he bring a firearm to an illegal protest? Federal officials sought to portray the 37-year-old Minneapolis resident killed by Border Patrol agents on Saturday as a domestic terrorist, saying he wanted to massacre law enforcement, even as videos emerged that appeared to directly contradict the account. The man, Alex Jeffrey Preddy, was an intensive care nurse, described Minneapolis police chief as a U.S. citizen with no criminal record. Federal officials said he was armed, but there was no sign in videos analyzed by the New York Times that he pulled his weapon. Really? No sign that he pulled his weapon. Once again, like Ashley Babbitt and like Miss Good, this man is the architect of his own demise. Why is he illegally protesting and interfering with ICE agents? When they tried to detain him, why did he not simply surrender to law enforcement? Why was he carrying a firearm? The shooting in Minneapolis' Whittier neighborhood, renewed protest and clash with law enforcement. Video posted to social media and verified by the Times shows Mr. Petty stepping between a woman and an agent who is pepper spraying her. Other agents then pepper spray him, who is holding a phone in one hand and nothing in the other. His weapon remains concealed. Oh, a concealed firearm. Is Minnesota a concealed carry state? Let's just see. Maybe it is. Is Minnesota a concealed... Okay, what's going on there? Carry state. Yes, it is. If he has a permit, he can conceal a weapon. He must have a permit to carry in public. Without one, handguns must be unloaded in a closed, fastened case in a vehicle. His handgun was not in a vehicle, was not unloaded, and not in a fastened case. It was on his person, hidden on the back of his belt. It was hidden in the back of his belt. If he's a lawful, good ICU nurse, why is he at an unlawful protest carrying a firearm illegally? Did he have a permit? I don't know. Seems unlikely. But people with permits have holsters. They don't stick guns in their trousers. They don't stick guns in their trousers. So, what are you going to say? What are you going to say about that one? So here's the storm, folks. Look at the map of the storm. 2 magazines, obviously an intent to harm someone. Pennsylvania, right in the grip of this. Pennsylvania and New York completely obliterated by this snowstorm. Ohio as well. The bulk of it hitting us here. Dallas escaped it, but they did have ice the other day. Whew, look at that. That's a big storm. Pentagon's defense strategy says the U.S. is putting its interest in the Western Hemisphere, not Europe, Africa, or Asia. I think that's a big mistake. The United States needs to be focused heavily on Asia. Pentagon unveiled its latest defense strategy, which placed the homeland defense and protection of U.S. interests in the Western Hemisphere as a top priority over countering China. According to a 34-page strategy, the Pentagon prioritizes securing U.S. borders and maritime domains, protecting the nation's airspace, and ensuring U.S. military and commercial access to key terrain. We engage in good faith with our neighbors from Canada to our partners in Central and South America, but we'll ensure that they respect and do their part to defend our shared interests. And where they do not, we will stand ready to take focused, decisive action that concretely advances U.S. interests, says the strategy. Well, interesting to say the least. But here it is from the Department of War, the 2026 National Defense Strategy. Something that comes out periodically and something that I always have to analyze as a defense analyst. William Foga, a key actor in the eradication of smallpox, has died at the age of 89. His containment strategy helped wipe out the disease in the 1970s, one of the world's greatest public health triumphs. He led the CDC and promoted childhood vaccination worldwide. Died Saturday night at his home in Atlanta. Congestive heart failure. Among health professionals, he was almost without peer, a grand old man of public health, a field that many feel is under siege by the Trump administration. In 2012, Barack Obama awarded him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. As director of the CDC under 2 presidents, Carter and Reagan, he put forth an expansive vision for the agency, had it focused on leading killers beyond infectious disease, including auto injuries and gun violence. He left in 1983, created programs that sharply increased childhood vaccinations on a global scale. "6'7" tall. He's a big dude. Court filings, witnesses describe the fatal shooting of Alex Preddy. A doctor who lives near the scene where Alex Preddy was shot and killed by federal agents described in a sworn statement how agents initially hesitated and asked for proof of medical license when the doctor tried to approach and render aid. And the person who said they were standing near Mr. Preddy disputed the Department of Homeland Security's account. Doctor, whose name was redacted from the publicly available version of the court filing, described himself as a pediatrician, said the witness parts of the encounter from a nearby apartment. After the shooting, Doctor described returning home to protest intensified with sobbing and shaking uncontrollably. Well, all of this was preventable if the insurrectionists in chief, the seditious bastards, Small Fry Jacob and Stolen Valor Timmy Waltz, had simply complied with federal detainers and turned over convicted rapists, murderers, and pedophiles, bank robbers, to federal authorities instead of releasing 472 of them into the streets of Minneapolis, St. Paul. Would all been avoided, like the rest of the country is doing. Videos appear to show a federal officer took a gun away from Alex Petty just before a fatal shooting. So suddenly everybody is an analyst. Everybody's an expert. Oh, look, they stopped the video so we can't see what he does there when he gets up. There's that. Look at that. So you're supposed to be able to make that's the video that they're making a determination on. You can't determine anything from that. And look at these asswipes in there next to the law enforcement officials endangering safety instead of staying away. They keep showing little tiny clips and not sufficient. There's the firearm that he had. Why does he have a handgun at the scene? Alex Preddy, the ICU nurse dedicated to helping others who brought a firearm to a protest that was illegal. Apparently worked for the VA. Thank God I don't go for VA medical care for this idiot. Look at, he's wearing a woman's vest with the finger slots. See that? That's a woman's vest. Finger slots. Alex Preddy, 37-year-old man killed by federal immigration agents, worked as a nurse treating sick veterans. Well, thank God I don't get sick in Minneapolis. Wouldn't let this clown protect treating me. So the power outages are coming for people around the country. So if my power goes out during this broadcast, don't be shocked. Power outages skyrocket in the south as destructive ice and snow, heavy snow piles up in the northeast. Snow and ice were falling over 1,500 miles from Texas to the northeast as a massive winter storm peaks. And there you can see it, 3-day forecast. And look at that, Pennsylvania, New York, smack in the middle of it, up to 36 inches. 3 feet. That's ice. We won't get the ice. It will hit Texas, though. Nashville, lots of power outages as the ice freezes on power lines and snaps them from the weight. Kyle Rittenhouse did nothing wrong. I don't know how that got in the conversation, but Kyle Rittenhouse didn't bring a firearm to the state. He had a firearm in the state. His parents were separated or divorced, and he went to stay with his father. And he's a trained medic. As a teenager, went there to render assistance. Fortunately, he had a firearm because he was attacked by a convicted pedophile who sought to beat him to death. He warned the guy not to come after him, and the guy backed away. Then he ran down the street, and he was chased by criminals. They threw a skateboard at him, knocked him down. He turned around with a firearm, raised it, and told people to back off. The one guy did. He didn't shoot him. He could have shot him. Showed incredible strength for a teenager with a firearm in a deadly situation. Something many law enforcement officers have difficulty controlling their impulse control. He had impulse control. After he shot a person who tried to attack him again, after being warned, he went and tried to surrender to the police. So let's not get the story about Kyle Rittenhouse lied about. Get the story straight. Senate Democrats are looking to block the government now because of Minneapolis. This crypt keeper in chief, Charles Chucky Schumer, needs to be removed from the Senate. Senate Democrats to block government funding after second fatal shooting. The move could force a partial government shutdown next weekend. Lawmakers are set to vote on spending bills this week, but may look split on Homeland Security and other agencies. Democrats said they could not vote for legislation to continue U.S. immigration customs enforcement funding without changes to how the agency operates. What's happening in Minneapolis is appalling. It is. It is. I agree 100%. The seditionists, the insurrectionists need to be taken into custody, and this will all end. That's right. The refusal to submit to the supremacy clause of the Constitution is endangering public safety in Minneapolis, and it's being fueled by Small Fry Jacob, an insurrectionist, and by Stolen Valor Timmy Waltz. The Trump administration will take a 10% stake in a USA Rare Earth $1.6 billion deal. The deal and a separate $1 billion private investment will be unveiled Monday, and Oklahoma-based USA Rare Earth will host a morning conference call with investors to discuss the terms. So for a 10% stake, the U.S. government is buying it at $1.6 billion. But it's to help them fund their mining operations, which I'm not exactly a fan of. Well, in Minnesota, Shawnee, are you still here? There you are. Shawnee, check this out. Articles of impeachment have been filed against cartel boss Tim Walz. Governor Tim Walz is akin to the leader of a drug cartel, according to a Minnesota state lawmaker who filed articles of impeachment against the embattled Democrat and warns other politicians in the scandal state could be next. Republican State Representative Mike Weiner drafted the paperwork to boot Lefty Walz in November and filed the documents on January 12th, alleging the former vice presidential candidate failed in his fiduciary responsibility to taxpayers as a $9 billion Somali social services scandal unfolded under his nose. This is almost like a drug cartel. You got various levels. They're all taking a cut of this money that comes from the federal government, he told the Post. Waltz, he said, was ultimately in charge of the cartel. He maybe didn't know every detail that's going on, but he's overseeing what's taking place. He's even responsible for whistleblowers coming forth. It is his responsibility to make sure that changes are made. We have a fiduciary responsibility, which is in the articles of impeachment. Whistleblowers have brought things forth, but we're told not to pursue it because it could be viewed as racist. And there is the racist in chief right there. The dim-witted, stolen valor coward. Other impeachment targets could include head of Minnesota's Management and Budget Office, Aaron Campbell, and Attorney General Keith Ellison. Ellison should have been the person to prosecute the $250 million pandemic-era Feeding Our Futures welfare fund scandal, but instead turned a blind eye and allowed federal authorities to prosecute the case. Campbell's office was negligent in doling out federal funds without adequate oversight. Donations to dozens of accused fraudsters have funded local Democrat candidates, including a total of $9,000 Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry, $7,400 to Ilhan Omar, $3,000 Minnesota State Senator John Hoffman, who allegedly shot last year by Madman Waltz appointee Vance Bolter, and $3,000 to Minnesota City Council member Jeremiah Ellison, the Attorney General's son. The rot is in Minnesota. Articles of impeachment are set to be voted on in Minnesota's House when the session resumes on February 17th. Republicans hold a narrow 67-65 majority over Democrats in the House, while Democrats hold a 34-33 edge over Republicans in the Senate. So he could be impeached if one Democrat does the right thing. It only takes one Democrat. That's right, how the tables have turned. Impeachment's on the other foot. Yep. The money goes from U.S. Okay, let's stop arguing about Kyle Rittenhouse. I've already explained what happened with Kyle Rittenhouse. That's the end of the conversation. Whatever's going on with Kyle Rittenhouse, stop it. That's not the topic here. Impeachment, here we go. It'll take one Democrat in the Senate to turn and get him out of office. Ellison should go. Whatever method there is to remove Small Fry Jacob should be done. Manny says leftist gun control, gun laws are a problem. Also leftists bring guns to ICE raid. Exactly. It's hot chocolate, Shawnee, because it's 10 degrees outside. 7 inches of snow is still to fall. Let me look out my window and see if it's still falling. I'm going to go check my front lawn real quick. I'll take a picture. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back, okay? Still snowing, coming down. It kind of sounds like rain, but it's too cold for it to be rain. So you're going to see where I plowed out the front of my door, and you'll see that you can't even tell where I plowed. Look how much is accumulated in the 50 minutes since I came on air. Do you see that? You can see the walkway there. Look where I plowed, and it's almost completely full of snow again. Look at that. Yeah, it's beautiful unless you got to get out and shovel it. Look at that. So 1 hour ago, less than an hour, well, yeah, an hour ago, I plowed that, and now it's completely covered again. Wow. That's quick. That's crazy. That's crazy. Wow. Crazy. And here it was before I plowed. Rethinking my suitcase options. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I could see why. Yep. The temperature outside is currently, I think, 10 degrees. Let's see if it's still 10 or if it went down. 10 degrees. It's 10 degrees outside. But the wind chill makes it 0. I told you I couldn't feel these fingers after they were burning and hurting like hell after about 15 minutes. Starmer is guilty of stolen valor. I didn't know he was in the Army. Thank you for the community for advising about the ID number of the application. Finally got mine and the wife's done. Okay, cool. Charodon Rose. Longtime viewer, just new Google name for privacy. I got you. That's fine. Depends on each individual house. They have gas backup for heat. Most use electric. If the power goes out, no, I won't have heat. Or will I? Well, I have gas. I think I have gas. I'm not worried about that. It's just cold. I'll survive. I'll burn the furniture if I have to. I got a fireplace. I got a gas fireplace, so I can always turn that on. I still have Christmas lights on, Amanda. Mine don't come down to the end of January. The Christmas tree is still up. It doesn't come down until January 31st. It's a tradition I started some time ago. The gas is usually fine. Well, it depends. Depends where you're at, but it's not a problem here usually. Delia, excuse me. How's it going? Wearing camo does not imply stolen valor. No, it doesn't, but if we wear military uniforms, it does. And that's super chat from Emil Bernard Oosthuizen. Thank you for the 35 rand super chat. What's up with the likes, man? 600 people and only 300 likes. That's the news for today, folks. I mean, we're chatting away now. You've got questions. We'll try to answer them. 598 people currently here. And we got a little bit of super chat revenue, not much. And we've got over 2,000 have tuned in during the stream. And how many likes? Just 300? 389. It means you've got a ways to go there. It's coming down to Illinois and Indiana as well. Look at all these South Africans are suddenly in America not telling me about it. All these South Africans in America. I hope you guys are watching the ads. That'll generate some ad revenue. Yeah, we need to do something because the channel is definitely back under the pump for the shadow banning. And I say that because there's no way that we get just 33,000 views yesterday. I did a live stream and had a prepared video and only 33,000 views. That has to be the lowest I've had since one point in December. Let me see, last 90 days. December was kind of slow. Yeah, I got down to 22,000 in November. Yeah, September through November was terrible because I was in England and I came back and took a while to recover. 22,000. And then I hit 240,000. And back to 100,000, 100,000, 100,000, 100,000, 125,000. And then suddenly we're at 33,000. What is going on? What is going on? Content must not be that interesting. Must be that compelling. By the way, we're about to go over 39 million views lifetime. We're 38,000 views away. We should hit that today. And that'll take us to 39 million views on the channel lifetime. That's so cool. Yep. Can't wait to get to 50 million. All right. What else we got here? Heating system that much tonight. Walk around short sleeves. Well, short sleeves and short pants. Yeah, it's 20 degrees in here. I could turn the heat up, but I keep it cool in here. I don't like to waste energy. That's the front lawn you will not be camping on. Yeah, it's beautiful, but it's a lot of work. Heinrich, you can put your tent in that snow. Good luck with that. Am I the only one trying to see if the Colonel's wearing shorts? No, I'm wearing shorts, Jennifer. Yep, I'm wearing shorts, and I wore shorts last night when it was 16 degrees outside. I wasn't outside the car. I went to check on my friend, my nearly 90-year-old friend who had heart surgery. He's doing okay. I want to give him a few days recover. Only 2 people showed up to see him. That's really lame. This guy's done so much for so many people in this county, and only 2 people came to see him. And since he's had his surgery, I was the second one. Yep, but I want to go before the storm came, because then 2, 3, 4 more days I wouldn't be able to see him. Then I got to go to Texas, so I wouldn't see him for a while. So I went to see him. Let's live stream all day. Well, we've done that before. Nick Shirley delivered a learning center hoodie to. Well, riots will be only accomplish so much when they're freezing. They can only do so much. Now it says it's gone up to 11 degrees according to this. I got weather on my phone and on my computer. Impeached. There we go. We want to see these guys impeached. Absolutely. What's with the insults? Stop the insults. Whoever's doing the insults. Ice rain. But yeah, no, freezing rain is not fun. We call it freezing rain. Okay. 3 feet's a lot of snow. I've seen worse. Much worse. Mentally drained. Light rain. It wasn't Kyle's. Dude, I'm live. Why are you calling me when I'm on air? That's a phone call while I'm on air. This is when I go on live every day. Why would somebody be calling me? I'm live. Another 35 rand. If you're willing to allow refuse in front lawn, we'll clean it for you. Yeah, well, cleaning isn't the issue. You got to cut the grass and trim the bushes. Beyond Live It, watch video earlier of saying people have TDS syndrome. Well, a lot of people do have TDS syndrome. So why were you upset about? Power went off every night. Don't have power. 40 minutes. Wow, that's terrible. Do you feel the same when Kyle Rittenhouse brought weapons to a protest, only in this case? Jay, yeah, that's where this all started. Do I feel the same? No, I don't feel the same. But Kyle Rittenhouse brought a rifle to defend himself, defending private property and providing first aid. He didn't hide the weapon. It was visible. It didn't present a threat to anyone until someone threatened him. This person hid a weapon and intervened with law enforcement. Kyle Rittenhouse didn't rush up to law enforcement and assault law enforcement and get in the middle of a law enforcement operation. You can't compare the two at all, Jay. I mean, whatever was going on between you and Light Rain, you stop, but you can't compare the two at all. Kyle Rittenhouse had a licensed firearm. He's a licensed firearm owner. The firearm was not taken across the state border, which was the media lied about. The leftists claimed he illegally brought a weapon across the border. Lie. The weapon was stored at his father's house because his parents were separated or divorced, and they didn't live together. And he was visiting his father. He's a trained medic. He went there. The rifle was clearly displayed, protecting private property, when he was attacked. And he didn't shoot the first one. They backed off when he presented the weapon to defend himself. Had he not had the weapon, this guy probably would have beat him to death. The guy was a convicted child molester. You know, this is a teenage boy. And boys is what he went after, not girls. So, you can't compare the two at all. Kyle Rittenhouse didn't interfere in a law enforcement operation. Kyle Rittenhouse didn't have a pistol hidden in his clothing. Kyle Rittenhouse had an open carry licensed firearm and defended himself using deadly force in a lawful fashion. And they tried to railroad him, Jaya. Get the facts straight. I had the facts right from the very beginning. The effort was put together by the person who took all the available footage and pieced it together without any breaks, showing what actually happened as he was assaulted and didn't fire, fled the scene to get away. They chased him. They struck him with a skateboard in the back of the head, knocking him down with deadly force. He turned around and didn't shoot the person, put the rifle up and said, back off. The guy did, backed off and didn't get shot. Other guy came after him and got shot. He attempted to harm Kyle Rittenhouse. He didn't hide a weapon. He didn't carry an unlawful weapon. He didn't intrude in law enforcement. In fact, he tried to surrender law enforcement. He walked down the street after the shooting, raised his firearm up in the air, held it up, put his hands up, and walked over towards a police armored vehicle and tried to surrender. The police told him to continue to walk down the street. That's what happened. Get the facts correct. Get the facts correct. He was defending private property and providing medical assistance. The man who was shot was the architect of his own demise. Much like Ashley Babbitt should have been in the building. That's right, Primal Board. Once a legal protest begins interfering with law enforcement, it's no longer a legal protest. Uh-oh, am I offline? Oops, I went offline. We might be having trouble with the internet now. We just went off. If you're buffering, that was just me for a second. I lost my contact with the internet. Let me see what the internet speed is. Maybe with all these people at home, they might be flooding the internet. Internet speed test. Let's take a look and see really quickly here what we got here. All right, my download is okay. Upload is good. Must have just been a glitch. Yeah, my upload is very good. Must have been a glitch. Okay, there we go. All right, so we went offline for a split second there. People need to be better prepared for emergencies. 100%. What was that? It was Honey Erasmus. Sorry, I missed that you joined as a member. Thank you, Honey. Yeah, they want to shut the government down. What's your view on this? ICE agents shoot a man dead in Minneapolis. What's my view on it? I don't have a view on it. I haven't reviewed the footage. My initial response to that is that anyone who interferes in a law enforcement operation and carries a concealed weapon to a protest doesn't have good intent. That doesn't mean they deserve to have deadly force applied against them. I didn't watch the video. I didn't see it. Not my place to make a judgment. I did see Rebecca Good. She's the architect of her own demise. She attempted to run over a law enforcement agent who drew his weapon and warned her, and then she charged the vehicle at him. Yep, the gun was out long before she charged him. She looked right at him. I guess she thought he wasn't going to fire the weapon, and then she tried to run him down. Yep. So, but yeah, that's my position on that. Lots of things in the media, a lot of stress at locals. Minnesota's a mess. I'm not sure what federal will do next. Yeah, that's a good question. Polymark's predictions are 76% chance to shut down the government due to ICE funding. Well, the government won't be shut down, Sven Stahlbart, so that's a bogus projection. Only part of the government will be shut down. Weapon was in his right hand. I didn't see that, Chris. I can't comment on that. I didn't see it. Full view of him standing to the left of the frame with his gun pointing down, drawn, hunched over. Okay, Chris, thanks for sharing that. The U.S. has 480 warships, resting at 670. Yeah, I don't know we have that many, Neff. I think that's an over-exaggeration. I don't think we have that many. It might have been supply ships and things like that. But our Navy was 600 under Reagan. It greatly downsized. I thought it was 320. Yep. Yeah, if you hit like and share, and if you chat, that their chat rate's 23. You guys keep chatting. That definitely helps overcome the shadow banning, and helps get it pumped back up in the algorithm. Every like, every interaction, every comment, every chat comment really makes a difference. Greco man, brother was just holding up the line waiting for somebody to pump his petrol. Are you serious? Well, in New Jersey, you can't pump your own petrol. So go to New Jersey. You can stand there and wait for somebody to pump it. The rest of the country, pump your own. There's more South Africans in America. Wow, we got a lot of the refugees watching the program. Would you like to speak on the concept of happiness, the meaning of it? How do you know if you have true happiness? Anyone? Well, sure, Shawnee. How do you know? Reach self-actualization. Marnie, thank you for all you do. We appreciate you. Thank you. By the way, folks, we've got a refugee interview coming up at 1 p.m. That would be 8 p.m. South African time. That's with Erica Strauss, who's in Kentucky, in the Daniel Boone country. And then tomorrow, Marnie Lambrecht will be on the program. That's a single mom up there in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, the Clearwater, Wisconsin, which actually the name is kind of a myth, but not important. Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and she's been making some videos. I need to put a link to her channel so people can go find it if you like. Why did they put salt on the roads? Salt keeps water from freezing at a lower temperature. The salt keeps it from freezing a much lower temperature. It melts the snow. Oh yeah, today refugee interview, tomorrow refugee interview, and I got other people contact me. Do more refugee interviews. Joe Texas says now that taxpayers are and will be leaving South Africa will go to Zimbabwe very quickly. Well, it's going to take a lot more of them to leave before it happens. Well, if you're buffering, lower your view rate. You know, don't make it high definition. Make it lower. You know, lower the through rate. Salt breaks the snow using UK too. Yep. I watched a video of awful school transport accident. The truck driver and Pierre upping the minibus charges from. Yeah, I saw that. Saw that, Karen. Dozen kids were killed. Anna Marie, now haven't seen you in donkey years. How you doing there? Earlier I asked, how do people get out of the houses doors when the snow starts nights? Well, that's why a lot of us have porches. So you have a porch so you're not trapped in your house. So you have a porch not just to sit in the shade in the summertime, but in the wintertime the snow doesn't land on it. So that gives you a chance to open your door. If your door opens right to the outside, then you're going to be buried under snow. So you just got to be smart about that. That's one way. But when I was in Ohio in the blizzard of 78, the house that I was living in didn't have a porch. It just had like a little concrete step to step up into the house, 1 or 2 steps. And so the whole thing was covered with snow. Yep. How often do you power wash the undercarriage of your car because of salt? Never, Katya. Never had to clean the undercarriage of my car. Yep. What do you do? Your car wipers don't break. Well, you don't use them when they're frozen because then they rip. So what you do is you defrost the windscreen and then you use them. I typically go and make sure that they're loose by shaking them slightly and then taking my finger along the front edge of it to, so, yep. I wouldn't call a step a stoop. That's not big enough to be a stoop. A stoop is much larger than that. Salt on the roads is why you shouldn't buy secondhand cars from northern states. Well, it depends on what the year is. Cars built after 1990 tend to be much better because of the undercarriage treatment. Minus 19. I'm not surprised, Shawnee. Quadasi, why are you being shadow banned to begin with? How do you break free from this rubbish other than subs interaction? Well, occasionally I catch the algorithm and find the right topic and it just takes off because I'm the only one covering it. But then once other people start covering it, I lose traction because YouTube doesn't promote my videos. So why am I shadow banned? Because YouTube doesn't like me. Also, some of it's not shadow banning, some it's just the nature of YouTube. YouTube doesn't promote independent journalists and media outlets. It does promote NBC, CBS, New York Times, all those guys because they pay for promotion. They get promoted. So if you go into a search, now, I bet you right now it probably won't be too bad. So let's go to YouTube search, okay? YouTube, I'm going to search for Colonel Chris Wyatt. Let's see what happens. So now when you search for me, you do okay. I was in Biz News 23 minutes ago, okay? Okay, so when you search for me, you find stuff now. But there was a time when you wouldn't find any of this. You do a search for my name, I was like the 35th person down here. So there you go. So that's me live right now, okay? Oh yeah, it's actually live. And then, yeah, this is pretty good. All of these are me. It used to be that, so that part of the shadow banning is gone. That's good. That's good. But let me do this here. I have more coverage, more videos, hundreds of videos on the refugee crisis. So let's do South Africa and refugees. And we'll see what's going on. Now, this is me searching, but people searching in South Africa don't find it. South Africa refugees. I'll just put refugee. UG. Let's see if I turn up in any of the searches. Wow, actually I do. That's okay. Maybe the shadow banning's eased up, but here you go. So YouTube right now is the one that only has 10,000 views right there. My message to South Africa refugees. Then 8 months ago, that one's next. This was never the case before. I never showed up at the top. That's amazing. Then my Cafe Clutch, which is scheduled. That's awesome. And then here, One America News with Laura Logan. She's talking about the truth about, maybe that's why she won't talk to me, because I'm trying to talk about South Africa, but she wouldn't have me on. White Asylum, that's a BBC story. Okay. See, Fox News, 130,000. BBC, 413,000. They don't show my interview, which is the first one ever. They show the BBC because that's paid, to be promoted. See, 1, 2, Serpensa, he's got one there too. He's got a big channel. 3, 4, 5. 5 of the top 10 are major news outlets are being promoted. Then NBC Montana. Well, look at the title. Family dubbed refugees. That's just nonsense. Washington Examiner. SABC. So actually, that's pretty good for me. I'm in there. So I'm surprised how many times I show up there. Yep. So maybe it's not as bad as it has been. Yep. So the other thing too is my viewers are not getting notified. So if you set your app on your phone for notifications and you give permission to YouTube to give you notifications and you push notifications, all notifications on my channel, you should get notified every time I go live, provided that the live stream is 30 minutes from then or any prepared video is instantaneous. But most of my viewers don't get updated. I looked at only about 6% of my viewers get notifications, max. That's not the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be everyone. I'm talking about 6% who've selected all these things. So anyway, look, I don't lose sleep over it. I've gone through worse periods. Oh, you're right, Guy. If I search with your user account name, I've done that. So if I use my Rugby Ascendant account, then I can't find anything. You're right. That's right. If I search for mine, there's artificial results. But even with my account, when I searched before, I would go through. I was the only person covering the event in South Africa, and I typed in the event. I forget what it was, and the top 100. I didn't even appear in the top 100, even though I was the only person live broadcasting that story at the time. I showed that to people last year. It didn't even show up. Very specific title, very specific event. It was a protest or something like that, and no one. I didn't show up. All this other stuff completely unrelated to it, and that was with my account name. I was late as it didn't show, even though I specifically looked. Yep. Getting ready to travel after snow is a process. Start the car, turn the heater on, sweep the snow, scrape the windows many times. You'll see cars running the drive unattended to warm up. Yep. Unattended. Yep. No, well, that's why I cleaned off my car. I took 6 inches of snow off my car earlier. Yep. Yes, you're right. In Flushing in Oxford, it helps that the council doesn't want you driving. Next port of call is the NDB show. For whom? I was just on the NDB on Chris 10. In fact, that just came up. That showed me. Hang on. So I was just on Biz News. That actually shows up right there. Look at that. The NDB Sunday show. Why is this thing so very slow responding? Away with over the years, but this one he's convicted for. So this social worker tries to pull at the heartstrings and says all the people who benefit from these humanitarian services would suffer. What humanitarian services? I'm still waiting, Chris, on the school that the EFF promised to build, 6-7 years ago in the Eastern Cape. They haven't built any. There you go. Yeah. Your grandchild will be born tomorrow. How do you know they'll be born tomorrow? What if they... I respect your view. The comparison wasn't their action. It was the fact that both brought guns to protests. The split views on ISIS actions. No, see, we disagree. And I respect your point on that, Jaya, but we disagree. He didn't bring a gun to protest. He defended private property. That's different. He wasn't protesting. He didn't go to the protest. He went to defend private property, which had been damaged by the protesters in the days prior. That's what he did. And to render medical assistance. This guy, this nurse apparently, went to render medical assistance, but he carried a concealed firearm, and then he intervened in law enforcement, two completely separate issues. So I do respect your comments, Jay, and thank you for that. So life suck, wife doesn't. Good God. During an interview with UCI, the agent asked me how I got to know about the refugee program. I told her Colonel Chris Wyatt. She just smiled. Any gay couples in the U.S. yet? I don't know if any gay couples, but there are homosexuals from South Africa who are refugees who have come over. Yep, there are. No scraping needed. Rain-X and alcohol breaks the ice's grip, and the tarp and towel keeps heavy snow from sticking. Yeah. 20-year-old car used in salt, no problem. It's a quality-made car. That's what I said after 1990. Yes, you get shadow banned if you're telling the truth. That's part of the problem. And Shawnee correctly says YouTube switched the way it promotes content. Its current projection is shorts. That's why the homepage YouTube has promotions program where if you pay them, they'll give your content out. Exactly. Yep, that's correct. Now I see. Somebody put the email address up there. There it is. Will's did. 2 weeks overdue. Oh, that's why you 2 weeks overdue. Cannot search with our own user. Okay, got that. Okay. Oh, and then Mad Max gave a super chat to a site. He did one earlier too. Ballot boxes believe the ANC Greater Johannesburg conference have been found in a house in Pretoria. Wow, that's interesting. Fascinating.
Ballot papers of the Greater Johannesburg ANC conference were found in the house up behind us right now that my colleague Tulo Munare is showing you. They were at the back of the house, abandoned there in a black plastic bag. We will be showing those visuals as the show goes on today to show you those particular ballot papers, how they've been found by these police officers and ANC security. I'm going to try and speak to these police officers. Baba, very good afternoon to you. We see that you found ballot paper.
Now that's inappropriate. That's not appropriate behavior for a journalist. You don't walk over into police operation and interfere with them. That's what's happened in Minneapolis. Now, there's no violence here. There's no threats here. But that's not what you do. That's not professional. That is not professional. These people aren't professional journalists. That is, and being polite to them, Baba, no, that's wrong. This police officer is under no obligation to address his people. He should remove himself from the scene. He should be nowhere near that vehicle. Should be across the street. This is how people get hurt. This is how people get hurt. Stupid decisions.
Of the ANC regional conference. Any comment from you guys?
No comment. No comment.
Well, the police are seemingly not wanting to comment, but
of course, you asshole. They're not wanting to comment because you're sticking a microphone in their face and they're junior constables. Leave them alone. Learn how to be a professional journalist. That's not how you do things. What extension do you have to have with those red, blue, and green labels next to the videos? Huh? What red, green? I don't know what that is. Again, buffering, lower your pixel rate. YouTube is full of people sending content to. I just had a channel terminated because they used my content more than 4 times in the past 3 weeks. I believe it. Well, lots of my content is put on, but the thing, as I said yesterday, Pistons, is that what frustrates me is that well, and were they responsive when you told them it was your content? Did they pull it down, or they asked to give you credit for it, something like that? No, as far as stealing content, my frustration with it is that people take stuff about the refugees, they put on TikTok, they put on their account, and they don't have a face on their account. So all these people watching and asking me questions. Colonel, what do we do about this? Colonel, what about this? What about this? I'm like, I'm not even on that channel. I don't do it. Here, that's the thing. So you watch, so I'm getting 33,000 views on my content yesterday. But I guarantee the content that I produced yesterday has been seen by 150,000 people. And like, how do you know that? Well, because I'm showing this Facebook page that stole it, this Facebook page that stole it, this TikToker that took my content. All of those, when they're just showing my content, is my content. And there's views I'm getting robbed of. So yeah. And what frustrates me is that I can't answer those people's questions because they're not here. And what frustrates me more is people are too dim-witted to realize that that's not the owner of the content. Go find the guy that owns content. When I find content, I see someone else has stolen it, I look for the originator so I can ask them questions. You get notifications. Okay, 30 minutes late. Hey, Sally. Yeah, or the other thing, too, is you can pause the show, wait 1 minute, hit play. You'll be a minute behind, but you won't have any buffering. Yeah, lower your pixel rate. Oh, is there a birthday? I missed that. Sorry. I didn't know there's a birthday here. Apologies for that. Let's get the birthday cake up. There it is, the birthday cake. There you go, Ingrid. Lowered it. No more buffering. Channel got banned. The user lost all the channels and got banned from YouTube. He got 4 strikes in 1 day. Wow. Yeah, but 4 strikes won't get your channel banned. Yep. And Matthew's telling you how to do it. Yep. Ah, small screen. 2 months early. Wow. Okay. That's why YouTube should put trackers in every video and get notification of videos used elsewhere. Well, they do. They actually do that, Joe Tex. You can actually see that where your content is used, although it doesn't work for small content creators like me. It's the big ones who get it. Yep. It's hard to find my content used, Look, if people want to use my content, I'm happy to license it to them. I have no problem with that. No problem with that. There's also fair use. If people are using a news story, it's fair use. When they're taking my analysis and using it as their own, that's not fair use. That's theft. That's different. That's different. So. No, the scrolling banner doesn't help, Anne-Marie. It doesn't help. Do you know why? Because all you have to do is simply cut that portion out. I have editing software. I can take a video and then the scrolling banner that someone runs across the bottom, I just enlarge the size of the video, crowd it off the screen, and it's not part of the video. Anyone can do that. It doesn't help. All it does is distract. Well, they should. I try to give people recognitions for content. The hard thing, though, is the breaking news on Twitter. I try to give Twitter accounts, I mention who they come from, that sort of thing, but it's not always easy because it's shared so many times. You don't know who the originator is. How does American earn a salary when stuck at home with snow? Well, most people, Amanda, aren't stuck at home for snow for very long. They go back to work soon. We closed down the Veterans Organization today. The canteen is closed. I actually got people complaining about it. They decided on Thursday in advance of the storm to close it down. Oh, let's wait till Saturday night. I'm like, Saturday night? That's a bit late to tell people we're going to be closed. So we agreed to shut down for Sunday, and now you can see all the snow outside. It's a good thing we did shut down. It's crazy. Yep. Gotcha. Gotcha, Pistons. You're welcome, Chardon Rose. Sorry that it was late. Glad somebody point out. Well, YouTube doesn't exactly live by its own rules. They break their rules all the time. That's how they terminated my first channel. Then they restored it 23 months later. It's a very capricious platform. Yeah, Iceman, I will be talking about the national defense strategy, but nobody will, probably about 1,200 people watch that video. I'll definitely do that. Definitely coming up, I'm going to do that. No doubt about that. Let me take a look and see how that video is doing. I did this morning. It says South Africa's military gun raw. It's got 11,000 views in 2.5 hours. Not great, not terrible. See, I can't show that video you just gave me, Mad Max. That's someone else's content, and that's made with AI, little Trump cartoons. So I can only play it for a second before I get in trouble here. So.
Greenland is for Greenlanders.
Okay, look, I just wanted to follow that logic for a second.
All right, that's about all I can do. It's someone else's content. Sven Sahlberg, clouds are gathering thicker through 35 Rand. Iceman said, I'll be there to watch. Well, you and about 1,100 other people. But I'll still do the video. I mean, I do the videos because it's newsworthy. On the Honor phone, it takes a screenshot of advice someone gives me. Message pops up saying, YouTube, I've taken a screen. Huh? I have no idea what Karen's trying to tell us. Oh, he does? Give permission? I didn't see that. That doesn't show up there. There's no description. It's just short.
You heard?
Greenland is for Greenlanders.
Okay.
Okay, but I mean, I can't. Little Trump, let me go to their channel. It doesn't let me go to their channel. Oh, gee, many crickets. Little Trump. Little Trump, 70,000. Okay. More. I don't see anything here that gives permission. It's got a lot of views.
Did you see that?
Well, they're all
Greenland
shorts.
is for Greenlanders.
I don't
Okay,
see what
look.
you're saying description. There's no description here. I'm not gonna risk a strike here. I don't want to get in trouble. Well, he can beg all he wants there, Piston. People are stealing lots of things. So, like, my songs are all my songs, and they're actually generating a little bit of revenue. Let me look at if I'm, because it's January now, see if I made any more money. I don't make much money off of this, but hang on a second. Sign in. There we go. Let me see. After about 6 months, I made $70, not even $10 a month. Let's see where it's at now. Bank, let me see what I got. $76.43. Yeah. I know somebody that made $10,000 in 1 month off of AI music. I made $76. So people aren't, how many people steal my songs? No stitching stories. I didn't do a video on how to transfer finances. We've talked about it so many times, I don't think it's even necessary. It's a shame that people that wanted to come on here didn't come on here. FDR took over Greenland's defense while Denmark was occupied. Trump offered $100 million in gold to buy it. Yeah. Oh, Truman, yeah. No, that's all true. But in 1910, apparently Denmark offered it to us, and we turned it down. Email on the 21st. That was 4 days ago. Okay. He sent me one on the 23rd. No subject. Just a blank email on the 23rd. Karen, I have no email from you on the 21st. I have one on the 23rd. It's completely blank. Another on the 12th of December, and that's it. Unless you've changed your name and email. I have nothing from you. Nothing. Tinky Keiser, 70 rand. Thank you for that. King Sweaties for South African ban minority channels, not just within South Africa. Enforce it. Well, yeah, they could buddy up with YouTube, but given the number of South Africans that are coming over here that are refugees that watch my program and want South African news, they can go ahead and do that, but my audience will probably stay consistent. It won't grow, but it'll stay consistent with South Africans over here. So a lot of my viewers are already in America. A lot of people watching this program are currently staying here. Let's do a poll. It's anonymous. Okay, it's a poll. Start a poll. Are you in South Africa? RSAREFUG in Okay, here's the poll. All right, are you in South Africa? Are you a South African refugee in the USA? Are you an American, or are you something else? Okay, there you go. I get 4 choices. That's all I can do. Board of Inquiry into Iran Navy's participation has not even been appointed as members. Correct, Guy. That was in my news earlier. Talked about that and I have a video up. Go to Kruger. What's going on? Okay. You mentioned WCS made them answer my emails after months of silence. Yes, it has. I know, Hannes Holtzhausen. They've also addressed Charles, contacted him to apologize and try to get his deposit back, but it doesn't solve the problem. Doesn't solve the problem. Yeah, you should get a notification from my stream in 30 minutes. Everyone should be getting that now if you're subscribed. Yep. No, I don't think snow interfered with my trip to Texas, but all the rescheduled flights might be a problem. And I paid for an exit row. I paid extra, so I better damn well get an exit row. So yeah, that's an issue. Could be, but the ice storm is a bigger concern. Dallas lost a lot of flights, so they've got to make them up. And some flights can be made up, but like Harrisburg, you can't land Harrisburg right now. It's got freaking 10 inches of snow on the flight line. Please see Loretta's message regarding Steve. I didn't see anything from Loretta. She got a picture with Steve, but I don't have her permission to show it, so I haven't shown it yet. She didn't say, hey, you can show this picture when she sent it to me. I see nothing from Loretta. Loretta has not been in the chat that I can see. Nope. I see nothing from Loretta. Why don't you guys just tell me what Loretta said instead of tell me to see her message? Why do we play the hunting game? I've gone back 20 minutes. I see nothing from Loretta. our energy bunny don't burn out, Chris. We need you. Gotcha, Anne Marie. Thank you. I missed your membership. 54 months. Thank you for that. I checked Mad Max's item. It was not that interesting. This one I did already. Ballot boxes, I did that one already. I didn't miss that. So I see nothing from Loretta. Still nothing. No, let me go all the way back. Katya Fundeban. How's it going, Katya? Kati. Oh. Okay, something funny he said. Okay, okay, I see that, right? I see your mess now. Military splashes. Yeah, Mad Max, did you tune in late? I've already covered this story. That was the whole first 20 minutes of the program. I talked about this. 372 million. Yep, I did a video long before these guys posted on Twitter. That was just posted on Twitter. Oh, no, they posted that before I did. 1 a.m., my bad. Yep. Okay. Okay, let me see what Loretta sent me on WhatsApp. Okay. Okay. It's fun, laughter. Steve said at one stage this Monday he will be president. He's going to appoint Malema as Minister of White Economic Empowerment. And the weekends, Blame will serve at Polesmore Prison. Told him he said hi once again. Thank you for the great opportunity. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Oh, you got it? Is that another? Oh, that's the same picture. Yeah, Loretta. I got Loretta's picture with Steve. It was really cool. Yep. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I know that was pretty cool. I'm glad you had a good time, Loretta. It's kind of a bucket list thing. You got to see Steve. Hope it was entertaining. It sounds like it was. And I'm glad that it came up when it did, because now the concert's over and who knows when he's going to be back there again. So you're able to get to that thing. Cool beans. Cool beans. See, we try to help the Wyatt Army family here as much as we can, as much as is feasible. So, yep. And these things go unnoticed. They get forgotten by people, except the people they directly affect. The people, by the way, I need to tell you this. Wyatt Army, oh, you guys are fantastic. Let me do it again if you can help. We're going to do this a few times. I got to give you news. I heard from Carl from Blair because I asked him about helping another family. Oh, come on, YouTube. So, not YouTube, but my computer, excuse me. So, the Food Socks, the nonprofit organization that does donations, of course, they've been helping us help people. Food Socks got 20,000 Rand from Wyatt Army donations. You guys rock. And that's all straight. No commission, no takeout by YouTube. None of this backup buddy takes their cut, nothing. The 20,000 went. That exceeds the 14,000 they've already donated. This is incredible. Thank you all so much. If you want to help Food Socks, which is helping South Africans in need, in particular, it's helping right now with those who've been involved in the refugee program who got stuck or their flights were canceled or situations like that. Eden Community Hope Outreach, nonprofit organization, through Standard Bank, the George branch. There's the branch number. There's the account number. And if you need a Section 18A paperwork for your taxes to show you made a donation to a charitable organization, you can write to carl@echo.org.za. But if you can donate to that, that's fantastic. Fantastic, fantastic. 20,000 Rand. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Wow. Look at that. 20,000 Rand. And that's just in the last day or two. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, you guys are on fire. You are on fire. Yeah, but apparently I take money from refugees. Yeah, that's what I do apparently, according to these shitheads. Yeah, that's what I do. These ignorant asses. Okay, Wilma, the buffering, lower your pixel rate or pause it for a minute and then catch up. Okay, who's Steve? Thank you for what you do for so many in so many ways, Chris. You're welcome, RVC. Saying that you help with bucket list. May I please get a flight ticket? Nope. Great news. Oh, Maddie knows who that is. Ingrid, he's being a troll. Natasha says, wow, great donations. Yeah. Okay, payday today. Steve said he wants to move to Western, but no one wants him as a neighbor because he's too rowdy. Yeah, Food Socks does rock. Now I have to. Well, yeah. Well, George is on the agenda. George is on the agenda, as is Orania, where I've never been, and Nelsbrook. Yep. So some non-traditional locations. I don't know how it's going. Christopher's donations. Let's take a look and see if they got there. All right. Come on. I gotta get to El Marie because I don't have the link handy. Oh, come on. Okay, let's take a look and see what that is. And I've got to take a break here in a second because we got a refugee feed coming up shortly. Still not there. Oh, it's died off, folks. Yeah, here they still need more money. 203,000. It kind of stopped there. So they needed 218 essentially. Still need about 15,000, 14,000 rand. So you got 1,000 from Famirs, Unspid, Fayal, Christopher. Boat and Jackie gave 500. White Army. Marcel Bacchus on behalf of White Army. White Army 5,000. 200. $10 from Frosty at White Army. $100 anonymous. 100 rand anonymous. 100 rand from the White Army. 500 from David Faria for the White Army. 100 from White Army. Nalisabe Nyundu helped 200. Anonymous 200. White Army 200. White Army 200. And I gave 1,000. So it all started a couple days ago. We started 3 days ago. And yeah, so let's see. That's since we started, that's one. Not all of them are from us. 12, 14, 16, 18, 19, 24, 25, 26, 26, and 200 is 28. 3,000. 5 is 8,000. 200, 400, 500, 9,000, 10,000. So 10,000 more has been raised. But they still need another 14,000. So I'll give you the link if anybody can go help on that. You're welcome to help on that if you want to help Christopher. He's got all kinds of medical challenges. And yeah, so if you want to help with that, that's your prerogative. No. Okay. Oh, that's crashed again. Stupid thing. Okay, let me get back over here. Live. Come on. There we go. Couldn't post the link in here because it crashed. So that's the paste. There's the link if you want to go help Christopher. Bad posture here. Let's get it straightened up my back there. All right, so there you go. Pin the message. Okay. Anyone else heard from Dirk Kutsia? Dirk Kutsia's fine. Dirk Kutsia's changed his username, and I won't say which one it is. Dirk Kutsia's got a different username. A lot of people are around. They just have different usernames. You don't recognize them now. Okay. He's been in the chat. Sharadon Rose. He's been in the chat. Yep. Whom we haven't seen is Maze or Arctic. One of the viewers pissed off Arctic and he left, so he hasn't come back. But, I mean, again, you can block people that are pissing you off. I don't know why he didn't do that. Also, he's a moderator. He could have blocked the person, you know. Took him off for a while. 302 votes in the poll. Okay, most people are in South Africa. 2% of refugees in America. So that means the audience watching, well, that's not good for my channel. If they block stuff in South Africa, that means many of you aren't here watching my channel. So 2% out of 318, that means only 6 of you are refugees in America. Well, that sucks. I was hoping to be 40 or 50. All right, time to end the poll. Yep. All right. Give him time to cool off? I don't know. I miss him here. He's fun. Eric is not here much anymore either. Eric has got all kinds of challenges going on with her. All right, folks, that's going to do it. We'll be back in about 20 minutes with a refugee interview with Minri from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Where do they get the money to do what? Okay, it's not opening. That won't even open up now. It won't open. I can't open that up. YouTube is acting up. So copy. Let me see if I can copy. No, oh, there it goes. Amatola to sale. First deployment a decade. Pfft, who knows? She's going to India. Well, who knows? Who knows? All right, that's going to do it, folks. Be sure to hit the like button. Thanks for the super chats that come in. And we'll be back. We've got 2 more things. We got the refugee interview. Then we've got the Cafe Clutch. And then you can ask all your refugee questions. And I got a lot of updates about Rochester here. And then Night Owls later tonight. Okay, guys. Cool beats. Yeah, I know. May's got all bent out of shape about something. And she just disappeared altogether. So she came on, was very nasty to people in the chat. And she got angry and left. So I don't know why. People were very patient with her. understanding your situation. All right? But that's how people's prerogative. If they want to do it, they want to do it. They go where they want to go. Cheers.